All right, let's jump right in. Over the next few minutes, we're going to tackle one single, pretty powerful idea that might just change the way you think about your career. We're going to challenge a belief that most of us just take for granted, what it actually means to be average in the professional world.
Soon, being average won't mean failing. It will mean being protected. Now just let that sink in for a second. It kind of flips everything on its head, right? How could being average, the very thing we're all told to rise above, suddenly become a form of protection? A shield? What does that even mean? Well, let's unpack it.
So first things first, let's break down this whole new meaning of average. We really need to get a handle on how the definition itself is shifting right under our feet.
And this really gets to the heart of the change. You see, in the past, being an average performer was, well, it was fine. It was your ticket to a stable life, a decent job, a steady paycheck. But looking ahead, it's going to mean something totally different. It's going to be a rare status, something that you actually have to actively protect. Now that is a huge shift in thinking.
And to really grasp why this is such a big deal, we kind of have to take a quick step back and look at the promise that used to define the world of work for millions of people.
For decades, this was the deal, right? This was the social contract. You show up, you work hard, you have a decent set of skills, and you could build a really comfortable, stable life for yourself. You didn't have to be some kind of rock star. Just being a solid, dependable team player was enough. But as we're about to see, that entire foundation, it's starting to crack.
So, what's causing the cracks? Well, that brings us right to the core of the issue, what some are calling the great skills squeeze. This is where we look at the powerful forces that are just dismantling that old promise of stability.
So you've got to ask, what's really driving this massive shift? Why isn't just putting in a solid effort enough anymore? Well, it turns out there are 4 key forces at play here, and understanding how they all connect is absolutely crucial.
Okay, force number 1, just extreme competition. Think about it. Thanks to the internet and global access to education, the sheer number of really skilled, really ambitious people in pretty much every field has just exploded. The baseline for talent, the new average you're competing against, is just way higher than it's ever been.
And layered on top of that is force number 2, a truly global talent pool. Your competition isn't just the person in the cubicle next to you or someone in your city anymore. With remote work becoming the norm, you're now competing with the best and brightest from literally anywhere on the planet. And then, of course, you have the huge technological shift. Force number 3, AI efficiency. A lot of the routine, predictable tasks that used to be the bread and butter of average skilled work, they're being automated. And AI can often do them faster, cheaper, and sometimes even better. And the final piece of this puzzle, force number 4, is instant comparison. Technology has made everything incredibly transparent. On sites like LinkedIn or freelance marketplaces, your skills and your work can be instantly compared against thousands of other people on a global scale. There's really nowhere to hide. So, you mix all those 4 things together: insane competition, a global talent pool, AI doing the routine stuff, and total transparency, and what do you get? You get a new and honestly a much harsher reality for the modern professional.
And the outcome is pretty stark. The middle class of skill is shrinking. What this really means is that comfortable spot in the middle, that safe zone for the average but totally solid performer, it's just disappearing. That whole part of the job market is being hollowed out.
And that basically leaves us with a binary choice. You either become exceptional, so skilled and unique that you are highly visible, you're in demand, or you risk becoming, invisible. Just another face in the crowd, easily overlooked and replaced by someone else in that massive global talent pool, or maybe even by an algorithm.
Okay, so that sounds a little bleak. I get it. But this brings us to the most important part. Given this new reality, how should we think about our own value? What's the new formula for success?
Well, the contrast couldn't be clearer. The past rewarded pure effort. Hard work was the currency. But the future, it doesn't reward effort alone. It's going to reward something much more specific: uniqueness at scale.
So what on earth does uniqueness at scale even mean? It's about finding what makes you different. It's that special, weird combination of your skills, your experiences, your perspective that nobody else has, and then applying it in a way that creates a big impact. Think about a data analyst who also happens to be a fantastic storyteller, or an engineer who has a deep, intuitive understanding of what customers want. It's not just about being different, it's about making that difference matter to a lot of people. And that really brings us to the final, critical question. And this one isn't for me, it's for you. As that middle ground vanishes, being average is no longer the default path to stability. So the question we all have to start asking ourselves is this: how will you cultivate and combine your own distinct talents to create value that simply can't be replicated and can't be ignored?